we started, the way to actually penetrate into the industry is one, you invest your own money first. At least that's the way we understood it. You invest your own money as a passive investor. Two, you become a co-GP, which means you're going to partner with somebody else on their deal. And as a co-GP, there are a couple of things you can do. You can raise capital. You can be a part of the asset management. You can help with due diligence. And you can do a couple of other roles as a co-GP, right? So the first thing we did was to invest passively on the deal.
Welcome to the How to Scale Commercial Real Estate Show. Whether you are an active or passive investor, we'll teach you how to scale your real estate investing business into something big.
Tenny is the Director of Acquisitions and co-founder of XSITE Capital. Since forming XSITE in 2019, they have acquired over $165 million in assets under management. Tenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, Tenny. The pleasure is mine. There are 3 questions I ask every guest who comes on the show in 90 seconds or less. Can you tell me, where did you start, where are you now, and how did you get there?
Well, again, thank you so much for having me. I came to the United States as an immigrant, went to school, grad school, got my master's degree, started working in the corporate world. Came across my partners. We started XSITE Capital, and we started from zero, basically. And now we have, like you said, $165 million asset under management. I'm the director of acquisition at the company. I'm one of the co-founders. I'm basically responsible for bringing the deals to the company, and we're looking to scale pretty aggressively this year. And that's where we are right now.
Let's get a little bit of that backstory. At what year, or in what year, I should say, did you move to the United States?
So I came here August 30th of 2010. Started my grad school. Went to university in Virginia for a couple of months, and then I moved to Bowie State. Graduated from Bowie State in 2012. And then, my background is engineering. I have a engineering and IT background, so I went to grad school for IT. So I graduated in 2012 with a master's degree in cybersecurity, and then I started supporting the likes of Boeing and Deloitte. And I've been doing that for the last decade, over a decade right now. In 2018, I met one of my partners, and then we started talking about investments. I can go into significant detail, and then one thing led to the other. We opened up a company for opportunity to work with other folks. My other partner, Dr. Julius Oni, saw what we're doing, and then said, "Hey, I think I can join forces with you guys." 3 of us came together. And then that's how we're able to start growing as a company.
Got it. I love it. That's really cool. When I know you said in 2018, maybe you started thinking about it, but what gave you that idea? Like, okay, 6 years after graduating, getting your master's, you're an engineer, you're doing cybersecurity stuff. You said, hey man, I think I want to dabble in real estate. What was the impetus for that?
Well, I think the person that gave me the entrepreneurship spirit is my mom. My mom has always been a business owner.
Yeah.
Growing up, she is a trader. She buys stock in wholesale and then sell them. And then she went into car business, and I was just saw her doing business and stuff. My dad, he was a cop, and he just worked his regular job. So when I graduated undergrad in Nigeria, I found myself reading some books. One of the books that I picked up on the sideways when I was going home at one point was the Rich Dad Poor Dad series. Though I was in Nigeria, I didn't understand the concept, because in the book they talked about 401k, they talked about a lot of these different retirement strategy, but I didn't know what that is. But when I came to the US, I got my master's degree, started making money. And then at one point I was like, man, I don't want to do this 9-to-5 thing forever, right? There should be a better way. And then Robert Kiyosaki, in his book, he talked about the cash flow quadrant. He talked about the E, the S, the D, and the I. And at that point, I was only operating in the E and the B quadrant, because I had a financial services company at the time as well when I met my other partner. But I wasn't investing in real estate. So my other partner, Leslie Watson, he was already invested in real estate, and then we had a conversation about, hey, can we work together? And we decided to start XSITE Capital in that process. And then in the process, So the way it worked was I was doing financial services. I met Leslie's wife. Leslie's wife introduced me to Leslie. Me and Leslie started meeting, started talking about business. We decided to form XSITE Capital. We did. And then at one point we were having challenges. And then Leslie and Julius, who's our CEO, Dr. Julius Oni, who is our CEO, they work in the same operating room in the hospital. And he went to Dr. Julius to say, hey, listen, we have this deal. You want to be a part of it? And then Dr. Julius Oni was like, no, I want to be a part of what you guys got going. I think where you guys are going is great. I want to be a part of it. And then we all joined forces. And then since then, it's been history.
It sounds like there were some challenges, maybe not interpersonally, but challenges relating to operational scale that you guys were facing when you brought on your other doctor partner. Is that correct?
Correct. That's absolutely right.
Okay. Can you give some insight into what those were and maybe how you solved those?
Absolutely. So the business that we're in is the syndication business in real. What does that mean? It means we pool for resources with investors to go buy apartment buildings.
Sure.
Right. And in return, we improve the communities that we're buying, and then we provide returns to our investors. That's the business that we're in. And then we as a company, we're a private equity firm, we look for the property, put it together, build a team and all of that stuff to manage the deal, right? So when we started, we actually started a company to say, let's buy single family homes and just do real estate in a small scale. But we came across this material from Grant Cardone that talked about multifamily. So we read it and we were like, there might be something here, let's dig deep into it. So we started doing some research and we realized that the world of multifamily is available to us like everybody else. That means we can buy big apartment buildings and we can actually work with investors to get that done, right? So we were like, yeah, let's just dive deep into it. So we went and bought mentorship program, courses, and then just started learning as much as we can about it. So when we started, the way to actually penetrate into the industry is one, you invest your own money first. At least that's the way we understood it. You invest your own money as a passive investor. Two, you become a co-GP, which means you're going to partner with somebody else on their deal. And as a co-GP, there are a couple of things you can do. You can raise capital. You can be a part of the asset management. You can help with due diligence. And you can do a couple of other roles as a co-GP, right? So the first thing we did was to invest passively on the deal with one of our mentors. So we did that first. And then an opportunity came for us to come in as co-GP, right? And they were like, hey, guys, can you guys raise capital on the deal? We said, sure, we can do it. So we went to our network and say, hey, guys, we got this nice deal. These are all the returns you're going to get, blah, 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 blah. And none of them paid us any attention. They gave us zero attention because, one, I'm a cybersecurity professional. They didn't know me as somebody that does real estate, especially at the scale I'm talking about. That deal that we're talking about was a $31 million deal at the time. They're like, Tenny, are you smoking something? How are you bringing $1 million deal from nowhere? Like, where did that come from? Right. So they didn't believe me. Same thing applied to my other partner, Leslie, as well. His community, he went to his community to tell them about what we're doing, and a lot of them did believe. So what me and Leslie just did was, you know what, let's invest our money. So we invested our own money in that deal. And then another opportunity came, and we were like, man, how are we going to do this if the first time we failed? We couldn't raise a dime on the deal. What can we do? Leslie like, well, you know what, let's just try. So that's when he now went to the hospital because Dr. Julius Oni, he's an orthopedic surgeon. Leslie's a nurse anesthetics, and they both work in the same operating room. So Leslie had an opportunity to have a conversation with Julius and say, hey, we got this deal. Do you want to invest? And this was around COVID period. And then Dr. Oni was like, yeah, let me take a look at it. So he took a look at it. I was like, hey, listen, I want to be a part of it. So he came in on board. And of course, with his network, he took the deal to his network. I'm like, hey, listen, this is a great real estate investment property in DC. I think you guys will want to join. And then from there, we were able to raise the capital to be a GP on the first deal. So from there, we just started scaling from there going forward.
Got it. So I guess you stepped out of, it sounds like, the investor relations / capital raising role and then moved into a different aspect or a different role in the business. What is that? I think you mentioned, actually, I know what it is. You said you're the director of acquisitions now. I think you said that early on in the show. Is that right?
Solely responsible for investor relations.
Uh-huh.
Me and Leslie at the time were just doing it. We're just going, talking to
Right.
our network, asking them to come and invest in our deals.
Sure.
But soon we started identifying what each person's strength is. So when Julius came and joined the company, we all came together. I identified myself as the guy that can go look for the deal. Leslie identified himself as the person that can underwrite the deal and make sure the numbers make sense and put the company together in terms of operations. And then Julius was like, man, I got the capital raising piece. So we just split the role like that.
That's cool.
So we started as director of acquisition, director of operations, and director of investor relations. And then at one point, Julius became the CEO of the company. We decided that is the role that fits him. So he became the CEO of the company.
Got it. That's really cool. When you guys laid this out, I mean, one of the challenges I think that people face is knowing how to split up ownership inside a company. Like, I'm sure these are conversations you guys had.
Right.
Where, hey, wait, so the two of us have been doing this for a while, and then we're going to bring you on, and then, but we're not 100% sure that everything you're going to do is going to be what we want. Like, how did those conversations transpire? And if you don't mind me asking, how did you guys eventually settle on a certain arrangement between the three of you?
So when we first started, of course, if you want to go into business, you need to understand every aspect of it.
Sure.
From the acquisition all the way to the disposition of a property, right? But me, I already knew my strength. And Leslie knows his strength. Me, I'm an outgoing person. I'm the person that can go, I don't take no for an answer, right? I'm going to knock on your door until you either say yes or you say, hey, never come to my door again. I'm that kind of person, right? So I already know where I can thrive. But when it comes to looking at the Excel spreadsheet, looking at the numbers, doing all the projections and all of that stuff, I don't want to mess with that, right? And Leslie loves that. He loves all the numbers and how all of that stuff works. So at one point we were having conflict about should I be doing the underwriting since I'm focused on acquisition and who should be doing that, who should be doing investor relations and stuff like that. And one thing all three of us agreed on was let's lean towards our strength, right? And then let's delegate our weaknesses.
Sure.
So me, my strength was I can go look for the deals. I can pound the pavement for the deals. I can talk to the brokers. I can build those relationships. And then when I bring it in, Leslie can manage, underwrite the deals and stuff like that. And then when the deal makes sense, Dr. Julius and he can just tap into his network and then raise the capital and then game over. So we identified each other's strength pretty quickly in the company and understand our dynamics. And we came up with our core values, came up with some of the things we have to live by. And of course, I can share with you what those are. And then we just started building the company from there. One thing I can say that we did that really helped us a lot was we invested in ourselves a lot. We paid for mentorship programs. We read a bunch of books. We go to conferences. We listen to podcasts. Like, we read a lot. And any idea that we see that can help take our company to the next level, we kind of just jump on it and just start learning it and try to figure out how to implement it in the company.
Got it. I love that. Let's talk a little bit. I know you said you're going to knock on people's doors and they're either going to tell you to go away or you maybe, start working on a deal. You drove how far for your first deal, and how long was the meeting that you drove for in order to get that done?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, that is just one part of the story.
Okay.
The main story about how all of that started was I used to live in Maryland. Two of my partners live in Maryland. I used to live in Maryland. I went to Bowie State. I've been in Maryland forever. But I went to a conference, the best ever conference in Keystone Resort in Colorado in 2020, early 2020. And I met an individual. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm like, man, we want to buy deals in the Southeast. We want to buy deals in Charlotte and stuff like that. And he made a comment. He's like, Tenny, how can you compete with me when you're in DC or you're in Maryland? There's no way, man. Don't worry about it. Just buy deals in DC. So I went back from that conference and I went to the house and I told my wife that, hey, babe, we're moving to Charlotte. Like, are you okay? I said, no, we're moving to Charlotte. I told my job, I took all my partners and said, hey, listen, I'm moving to Charlotte. I want to be boots on the ground. I want to be close to the deals. They're like, you're not serious. I was like, no, I'm serious. So I sold my house, packed all my property in the truck, called like movers. They moved my stuff to Charlotte. I came to Charlotte, rented a house for a year. So that is the first big move that I had to make. And then with the support of my team to bring me close to the market. So when I got here in August of 2020, during the height of the pandemic, like everybody's panicking, right? All of that was not getting in my head because I know what we're doing, what we need to do. So I got here to Charlotte. I got here in August. In September, October, my wife was like, babe, where's the deal? You say if we move down here, you're going to get the deal. I'm like, oh, that's true. I don't have the deal yet. So there's this broker I've been reaching out to, and there's one value I can give to everybody that's listening here. I can actually show them how to identify who's doing the best, who's doing the most transaction in any market across the country. I can share that value for free. If you want to go find a broker, you can give him a call and he's going to give you the deal. And that's what I did to be able to give us this deal as I'm talking about right now. And that's what I've been using to find all our deals so far. It's not a secret, it's online. So what I did was I went on this website, identified this broker. I've been trying to follow up with him on LinkedIn, sending him messages, just try to talk to him, and he's just been blowing me off. And at one point, he was like, yeah, if you can come to Charleston, I'll meet with you. So I said, okay, no problem. I live in Charlotte, he's in Charleston. It's a 3 hours drive. So I woke up very early in the morning, 4 a.m., got in the car. I drove down to Charleston. It was a 7:30 meeting. He came in at 7:15. So he came in 7:45. Because at 7:30, that was when we were supposed to meet. He came in at 7:45. And he's in at 8 o'clock. So we got to be quick. No problem. Say, hey, listen, my name is Tenny Tolofari. I'm out of Capital. I came here just to let you understand that I know you got the deals. And I'll give you my word. If you give us an opportunity, if you give us a shot, we will not let you down. He was like, well, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. What deal have you done before? What's your track record? So I told him what we've done, where we're trying to go. And he was like, well, Tenny, you look like a sharp guy. You drove this distance to come and meet me. I think I will give you a shot. And in that 15 minutes, we wrapped it up. He left. I got in my car and then I drove back. Jeez. And I called my partners. I was like, listen, this meeting that I just had is going to be the defining moment for our company. They're like, yeah, we think that's going to happen. So I got back, and then 6 months later, I kept following up with them. 6 months later, I think we got our first deal. And then since then, we've done, with this brokerage firm, we've done 2 transactions with them already. They've actually helped us sold the first deal that we bought with them. They've helped us sold the deal last year as well. So, and now we have a great relationship with that brokerage firm. And of course, we're building a relationship with a bunch of other ones as well. So
that's awesome. I love that. I love the tenacity and the willingness to just go do what other people probably aren't willing to do. It's like, all right, we're going to get in the car. We're going to roll the bones and drive 3 hours this way, have a 15-minute meeting. We're going to drive 3 hours back, not knowing if that's what it actually takes. And I think that's a unique hallmark of getting started for real hustlers, for real people that are going out there and grinding out their, they're just getting that start. I was telling somebody that here recently. They're like, well, we can do this, this, and this. I said, man, you're going to have to just start. And you have to get out there and just do things that maybe later on aren't going to scale, or maybe later on maybe not be good uses of your time. But initially, you don't know what the right first step is. Like, this may have been a total waste.
Absolutely.
But it's like, hey, we're going to go for it. We're going to meet this broker, and then, we'll see where it goes. And there it landed you your first deal. Tell me about this. Subsequent deals, have you had to work as hard to get those done once you kind of got the first one across the finish line?
Yes, you still have to work. You still go, because at the end of the day, right, the way we think about it in our company is a lot of these brokers, they are sales brokers. They do transaction based on commission. They don't want anybody to waste their time.
Right.
Because what it takes from the time you put in a letter of intent, which is an LOI, to negotiating the purchase and sales agreement and closing the deal, it takes a long time. And in that whole process, there's a lot of attorneys in the mix. There's a lot of contractors in the mix. There's a lot of different things that you have to spend money for, both the buyer and seller, for that transaction to go through, right? So they don't want anybody that can come in the mix and that doesn't have the capability of closing the deal, right?
Right.
So what a lot of the brokers, they want somebody that can actually, if they win the deal, they can close on it. So we doing one was, all right, they did it. All right, they did what they said they're going to do. Okay, can they do it again? Right? So again, the same methodology that I don't know if you're okay with that, I can share with the public. The same methodology that we used, I used it to identify another broker, spoke to them about, hey, this is who we are. And then they give us another deal, and they give us a shot as well, and we closed the second deal. And then with that, our reputation started growing. People start seeing that we're closing deals. And one very important thing in our company, which is one of our core values, is honesty and integrity. And integrity is we'll say what we're going to do, right? If we say we're going to close at this date, we close at that date, right? And we've done it consecutively with different brokers across different firms. And that is helping the reputation of our company as well. Of course, now we still have to actually reach out to them, stay on top of them, follow up with them again and again and again and again. You cannot just see that and think that a deal is going to come and fall on your lap. It doesn't work like that. Because just as you are trying to buy the deal, other people too are trying to buy the deal. You have to be in front of them constantly to actually think about you, and then you guys can close the transaction as well. So we still need to work hard.
Oh, for sure. The work never ends. What, if you can break it down maybe in 30 or 60 seconds, what is the methodology that you're using in order to evaluate and find the best broker in the market?
All right. So everybody listen very well. This is game changer. If you want to buy big commercial real estate in your market, any market across the United States, this is what you do. You go on Google and type CoStar Power Brokers Award. CoStar Power Broker Award. You type that on Google, it's going to send you, pop up the link to the Power Brokers Award. So CoStar is a commercial real estate company that basically gives a bunch of report about market data, gives a lot of information about demographic data, give a lot of data about commercial real estate in general, right? And every year, they recognize the key players that does the most transaction in the commercial real estate landscape. We're talking about retail, we're talking about offices, we're talking about multifamily, we're talking about all the different aspects of commercial real estate. So they recognize the guy that does the most volume, $ volume in each market. So if you go to that website, you can pick your market. For example, I'm in Charlotte. If I hit Charlotte and I pick the year, they on that website, they have 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and then 2022. Which if you click 2021 or 2022, they don't have 2022 yet. They have only 2021 right now. You click on 2021, it gives you the list of all the brokers with their names and their companies, right? So for multifamily, on the bottom is investment sales. So you can pick up the name of the person, put it on Google to give you call them and say, hey, listen, my name is Tenny Tolofari. I'm the founder and co-founder and director of acquisition here at XSITE Capital. I'm looking to buy a deal with you all. I see you guys are doing a lot of transactions. Meanwhile, congratulations on being the CoStar Power Broker. If you ever have a chance, I would like us to kind of grab dinner or lunch or breakfast at one point to talk about what I'm looking to do, and hopefully we can support each other. And then if they say, I don't have a deal for you, they'll probably point you in the right direction, because sometimes this guy, they do, $100 million, $250 million deals. If you're just starting, they might not be able to relate with you. But guess what? And this is a psychological shift. They would direct you to somebody in their company that's lower than them, that if they do the introduction, that person is going to take you seriously because it's coming from up down. But if you reach to that person directly before, if you didn't do that method and you talk to somebody directly, they probably be like, this is just one of those people out there that's trying to, just waste my time, So that is one methodology. And of course, before you make that call to that broker, you want to make sure you have your reputation, your website. You want to make sure you have a place that they can look you up. You want to make sure you have some kind of track record to show that you have the capability of raising the capital and closing on the deal. So CoStar Power Broker Award, you check it out, and then I think you'll be able to get those information from there. So
Tenny Tolofari, that is an insider's secret. I love it. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I do appreciate it. If our listeners want to get in touch with you and learn more about you, what is the best way to do that?
Yeah, just reach out to us at XSITEcapital.com. That is X as in xylophone, SITE Capital.com. And then we definitely would love to get in touch with anybody.
Sounds great. Tenny, thank you again for coming on today. I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Sam, for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome to the How to Scale Commercial Real Estate Show. Whether you are an active or passive investor, we'll teach you how to scale your real estate investing business into something big.